Welcome back to the Taylor Compound. I'm John. I'm always joined by Becca and Madison. Today, we're diving into one of our absolute favorite national parks, which is Acadia National Park. We've taken multiple trips here. We've camped, we've hiked, we've taken planes over the entire park. We've eaten our weight in lobster rolls. This place is loaded with those. And so before we jump in here, I want to get a few quick facts about Acadia National Park.
Acadia was the first national park established east of the Mississippi River in 1919, and it remains the only national park in the Northeast. The park protects around 47,000 acres of forest, mountains, lakes, and rocky coastline, making it one of the most diverse national parks in the country.
Acadia has over 120 miles of hiking trails and 45 miles of historic carriage roads, which were designed by John D. Rockefeller Jr. and are still used for biking and horseback riding today. It is also one of the most visited national parks in the United States with over 4 million visitors annually. So if you're going, be ready for some crowds, especially in the summertime.
Thank you for those facts. So now that we've got some background on this amazing park, let's get into some personal adventures in Acadia. And I think we should start with one of the most epic hikes in this park, which is called the Beehive Trail.
The Beehive Trail is one of Acadia's most thrilling hikes, featuring iron rungs and narrow ledges as you climb up exposed granite cliffs. It's considered a ladder trail and is not recommended for people with a fear of heights because at some points you're literally climbing vertically with nothing but the ocean behind you.
The total hike is only about 1.4 miles, but it packs a punch. You gain about 520 feet in elevation quickly, making it short but intense. If the climb up seems too much for you, you can still enjoy amazing views by taking the Bull Trail instead, which leads to a beautiful alpine pond at the base of Beehive.
So those are good facts about this famous hike in Acadia National Park. Let's chat a little bit about some of our personal experiences with this hike. This is an interesting hike because it does have some racy cliffs to it. And I noticed that a couple people ahead of us, and even us, had some cautious moments. Do you want to tell us about your experience, Becca?
Yeah, so hikes like these make me wonder why Angel's Landing was so scary for me, because even though this is a pretty exposed, some people say like rugged hike, I was not that scared on it because I feel like if it's a dry day and you have good shoes and you're in decent physical health to just be able to pull yourself up at some points, it's pretty well protected and the rungs seem very, very sturdy, like very well in there. So it's not that bad to go on. It wasn't scary.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't afraid once on this hike. I personally love hikes with obstacles on it. So the iron rung ladders made it really fun for me personally. I know when we went midday, it was super crowded. We were waiting probably for like 30 minutes, just stuck in one spot while we were waiting for people to climb up those ladders. I would definitely recommend going earlier, the better.
So once you get to the trail, there's a parking lot, which is very close to the sand beach in Acadia. And so you'll walk across that parking lot and you end up at the trailhead, and that's a good place to take a picture with family for sure. Then you'll head up through the trail, and that trail, it's not too far, maybe 0.5 miles, and you get to this kind of circular area, and then the trail continues up, and then you hit the rock wall. And so then you're kind of climbing up the rock wall. It's so beautiful. There's so many different lookouts as you're taking stops in different areas. There's one on the very corner about, I'd say 3/4 of the way up on the very corner. It looks like you're basically on top of the world and on the edge of a mountain. And so that makes for a gorgeous picture. And so that's part of the daytime hike that we took. Then you climb up, you get to the top, and there's so many people up there that had stressed out hanging off the side of a mountain with nothing but ocean behind you. And it's just kind of you're it's almost like you're joining this club of people that conquered Beehive Trail, right? And the views up there are spectacular. And so
They're
this is
beautiful.
yeah, this is one of my favorite hikes. And so another thing that we were able to do, and I'm going to let Madison talk about this a little bit, because she came up with the idea to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and travel out to Beehive with headlamps on and do a nighttime hike up the side of this wall to see the most beautiful sunrise that I've ever seen in my life. And so I'm not sure how you got that idea, but I do want you to share it. Please, Madison.
I think I was just online, maybe on TikTok or something, looking up Beehive hike and everything, and I saw people do it for sunrise, and I was like, oh, we have to do that. I'm not a morning person by any means, but I was very happy we did. Once we got to the top, it was the prettiest sunset you could ever imagine. Going over the beach, you're up in the mountains, the brisk air hitting you. It was just such a peaceful, beautiful experience, especially us being pretty much the only ones on the mountain at that time as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I know that as the sun started coming up over top of the ocean there, I was just, mesmerized by all the colors, and the clouds were starting to light up even before the sun came up over the water. And, you could sit there. We got to sit there for probably an hour while the sun was coming up. And I just remember how peaceful and beautiful that was. Do you have any thoughts on that, Becca?
Yeah, I think Beehive is one of my favorite hikes. I think I've done it like three or four times now, maybe.
You've done a great job.
Yeah, and it's always been very fun. I think the first time that I ever went on Beehive, you had to kind of like drill sergeant me up the hill, and it worked.
Yeah, you
That
were
was like the only
concerned
way
for
you
sure.
could get me
But I
to
thought
go
that
all
you
the way up.
did really
But
well.
after that, we did Angel's Landing, and then after Angel's Landing, I was like hanging off of the bars, like having so much fun just doing whatever on Beehive.
You relaxed
definitely-
after the
yeah.
Angel's Landing.
It's tons of fun because
Nice.
you look down and it's not that high up and it's not that steep.
Yeah. So anyways, Beehive Trail is an amazing trail to do. If you're afraid of heights, still do it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There was one story that I have the first time that I went to Beehive Trail. I remember getting up to the lookout part where I was telling you where the corner is there and kind of looks over the ocean. If you take a picture from that angle, it actually looks like you're on the top of the world there. And I heard a son had his father there. He was probably late 60s. And he was very nervous climbing this one spot. And I heard him tell his son, I'm going to go back down to the parking lot. Why don't you finish this trail? I know it's on your bucket list. And he was coaxing his dad, trying to get him to go up. And so I walked back there, and I was talking to the guy, and I was like, you literally are 3/4 of the way up. This little spot to get up over this rock hump, I'll help you through it. But you've got to get up here and spend this time with your son, because at the top here is just gorgeous. And somehow, some way, we spoke for a while. He kind of talked his way through it. I coaxed him a little bit, and then he did it. And so I remember seeing him at the top, and he was jumping up and down like a teenager, not a 60-plus-year-old man, older man like myself. And so anyways, that was an exciting story for me because, I felt like I'd coaxed him up there a little bit.
Well, Dad, it sounds like you're the ultimate hype man. When people have anxiety on hikes, you helped Becca through Angel's Landing. You helped that man on Beehive get through the hike and really force people and push people to see these beautiful things that most people don't get to see.
So I'm getting older, and as I get older, I start to realize that maybe at some point my legs are not going to take me up some of these mountains or through some of these extended trails. And, getting into hiking many years ago, it's just kind of an eye-opening experience. What this planet is gorgeous. And a lot of people don't like to walk out of their front yard and say, while my legs are moving, and I hope they're moving for a long time, and and I'm able to get up to these mountains and sites and trails and waterfalls, I'm going to take advantage of every second that I can. And then also, it's been really fantastic because, I've got to travel with my family, and we've seen, 54 of 63 national parks. We've hiked hundreds, if not 1,000 miles. We've been through most of the states in the United States and abroad. And so these are wonderful memories that I've been able to share with my family. And so it's just a wonderful experience for sure. And so anytime I see somebody on the side of a mountain and I know that they can make it and there might be just a little bit of fear in their eyes, I get inspired by once they kind of conquer some of that fear and get to the top or to the end, and they're very excited that they actually accomplished that. And that accomplishment means a lot to a lot of people, and even means a lot to me every time I accomplish one of these hikes or one of these national parks. But anyways, so once you get down off of this hike, and it's exhilarating, if you walk down towards the bottom and you're heading back towards your car, you end up, after you've tackled the Beehive Trail, there's a spot to relax, and that spot is the sand beach. Did I get that right?
Yeah, sand beach.
Okay.
It's one of the only sandy beaches in the park. The sand is actually made up of crushed shells rather than quartz rock like you see at most beaches. Even in the summer, the water rarely gets above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you decide to take a dip, be ready for the water to be very, very icy.
The beach is nestled between rocky cliffs, making it a beautiful and unique spot to relax or take pictures. Sand Beach is also the starting point of the popular ocean path, which follows the coastline to Thunder Hole and beyond.
So thank you for the facts about this beach. And so once you're done, if you're trying to cool off for sure, because the waters are about 55 degrees, I think somebody's going to state that.
Yeah, 55 degrees.
It's very cold, but people are swimming in it like it's nothing. And one of the things that I like to do at that beach, before you guys start talking about your experience, is I always like to set up a tripod, and then we write Acadia 2021 or whatever year that we go there. And then we kind of do a jump, and so it's kind of a family picture for us for memories. But it is a great place to relax. The beach is beautiful. It's probably the only beach in a long shot of miles, right? Because it's all rocky cliffs, like I think someone said. And so this is a very unique beach in that area. Do you have any memories about this?
Yeah, so this whole area of Acadia is kind of like as close you can get to a California coastline on the East Coast, just much, much smaller and older. Sand Beach, I remember it's a pretty large beach, and I remember every time that we put the Acadia with the year sign, or we just draw it out in the sand, people would always come up after and be like, "Can we reuse your little sand drawing?" I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I do remember that. There's a couple little paths around the beach. Don't forget to check those out, because you can walk on rocks and get close to some of the waves in those areas. And then, you'll walk about a quarter mile back to your car from there where you parked for the Beehive Trail. And so did you have anything else that you wanted to add on this, or you want to move on to the next adventure?
Yeah, I remember when we went to Sand Beach, my memory is just laughing so hard. I don't know why, but we were just so happy and giggly. I don't know if we were delirious or whatnot, but I remember it being a really good memory.
So you get really high when you go to Beehive Trail. Another one of my great jokes.
Why are you always getting high?
And then you come back down and you get to cool off. And there's a lot of people there on the beach, and they're enjoying themselves. You're a little bit warm, but there's a cool breeze coming off the ocean. And so that is definitely one of my favorite spots in Acadia National Park. So anyways, while the Sand Beach is one of the most popular spots in the park, there's a more hidden gem that offers completely different experience. and that's called Little Hunters Beach, right? And this is a discovery that I can't wait to talk about because I feel like every time I go there, I'm the only person on that beach, right? Any facts about that?
So, like John said, unlike Sand Beach, Little Hunters Beach is a hidden gem made entirely of smooth, rounded cobblestones instead of sand. Because of its location and limited signage, it's often overlooked by visitors, making it one of the more peaceful spots in the park.
The constant movement of the waves over the stones creates a unique, soothing sound as they roll back and forth. This beach is a great place for tide pooling. If you look closely, you might find small crabs, periwinkles, and other marine life.
What the heck is a periwinkle?
I don't know. It was
That was a great fact.
It's a small tide pool creature.
It
Or a
is.
sea creature.
Well, I can't wait to see that
The
flash
dog on
up on
Scooby
the
Doo.
video.
Blue's Clues.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
I want to
picturing
see a
is
picture of a periwinkle.
It's Blue's girlfriend, Periwinkle.
Yes.
Oh, yes. There's
I remember
tons of
going swimming one time, and there were so many periwinkles. Yes, that's the way I remember it. So this beach is quite amazing to me, and so it's off of the park road, and it's kind of in a corner, so you got to really look for it. I'm sure it shows up on GPS now that you know the name of it, Little Hunters Beach.
Yeah, for some reason we always called that one. There's another hike on Acadia called Bubble Rock, and we've always called that.
Always called it Bubble
Yeah,
Rock. And
it's
the
not
reason
right.
is that this entire beach is set up with fist-size stones that are perfectly rounded. And when the water and the waves come up and they hit these rocks, and then it kind of recedes back into the ocean, you hear this loud clicking, and it's almost musical how beautiful and soothing it is. And then, you could find a bigger rock, and you just kind of sit there, and you listen to the waves coming in. You're listening to the rocks. I think at one point we were throwing rocks, and they would bounce forever. Like, I don't know
They
why
bounce
that.
like bouncy balls.
Yeah, like forever. Like you throw a
They're
rock.
so smooth.
Make sure nobody else is on the beach if you're going to try this, right? Because we did it, and so when you throw the rocks, then it's bouncing all over the place, right? And so, the other thing that I like to do there, which has kind of become part of my routine, is I like to sit down and kind of juggle what I call bubble rocks, but apparently it's not bubble rocks.
Yeah, you looked like a kid in a candy shop. You were just so happy to be there and playing with the rocks.
And so it's so beautiful because all the colors of these rocks are different. And so one time I was there and I was juggling the rocks, and I was sitting Indian style close to the waves.
I was taking a video.
Mm-hmm. And Becca was
Waves
taking.
get real big at that beach. That's all I'm gonna say. I was taking a video, and I happened to see the wave coming up behind, and you just hear me start to giggle in the video, and I just turned around and ran. There was no time, I guess,
I was
to
not
warn you.
in a bathing suit, Becca. And so Becca sees this rogue wave coming in, and while my back's to it and I'm juggling, instead of warning me, she literally
I just turned
goes
around.
back
I
the other
turned
way
around
and
ran.
runs. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
where's she
ducked.
going? Am I
Did we at
doing
least
that
get a
good?
good picture of that?
We got a video of it.
Sound. You can see the wave coming up behind him, and then you can hear him yell. That's it, because
Yeah.
I was already running.
The video is
I have a very strong
absolutely Becca abandoning me while a wave takes me out, right?
Sorry. We had just started dating, to be fair.
That's hilarious.
He wasn't that important.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
That is a good memory, though. Does anybody else have an experience at that place?
Yeah, I just remember being like the only ones on that beach. I don't remember many people there when we were there. So we were able to let loose a bit.
Yeah, I think people don't go there because most people are severely afraid of periwinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it. The dangerous
Afraid of the
periwinkles.
unknown.
I can't wait to see what one of those are.
And they're like blue
I better
bottles
see a
or
picture
something.
on the
They're super
video
poisonous.
of what a periwinkle is, right? So, anyways, I'm glad that we got to talk about that one. I can't wait to see all the pictures again of that beautiful beach and the video of me getting crashed by a wave.
I plead the fifth.
Acadia is full of incredible viewpoints, but there's only one spot that stands out above the rest at this national park, and that is called Cadillac Mountain. And so every time we go to this park, we go up to Cadillac Mountain. We pack a picnic, possibly a bottle of wine. I don't know if that's allowed, but I believe we've done that before. And we head up there before the sunrise, and there's most people go to the very top, which I highly recommend go to the very top of this mountain because it is spectacular views. I'm going to get some facts here about what you're looking at. And then, but if you come down maybe like a quarter mile, there's this lookout. And to me, that's the best lookout for the sunset. It's the most amazing sunset. And the reason we go back to this park is on that mountain. And so I'd love to hear some facts about Cadillac Mountain.
Cadillac Mountain is the highest point on the U.S. East Coast at 1,530 feet. From October to early March, it's one of the first places in the U.S. to see the sunrise, making it a popular morning hike.
The summit can be reached by car or by hiking trails, with the most popular trail being 4.4 miles North Ridge Trail. The sunset from Cadillac Mountain is just as stunning as the sunrise, with incredible views over the island and the coastline.
Saying that the sunset has incredible or stunning views is the biggest understatement that I think anybody can say about this gorgeous place. Becca, do you remember anything from us going up there and watching the sunset?
Yeah, so that was also when I first met you. We went to Acadia National Park as one of our trips, and that is a very nice place to have one of your first dates at, that's for sure. We always bring
I'm very romantic.
Yeah, you did well. We always bring like a pre-cooked meal at the camper that we bring from the camper. It's just nice having a picnic up there and relaxing and unwinding. It's definitely gotten busier over the years though.
Yeah, the first time I went up, that you took me up, I remember you were a bit disappointed because there was these big, thick clouds. You could barely see a couple feet in front of you, and you were upset that I couldn't see the sunrise and sunset.
But did you not see them?
No, it ended up thinning out, and we were able to see the sun peeking through with all the different colors. And it was gorgeous. Probably one of the best sunsets I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So one of the things we like to do when we get up there is it's kind of an interesting picture that you can take from the top of the mountain. You can kind of put your arms up and see the sun through your arms. You can put your finger up in the air, kind of like you're holding the sun with your finger. You can look across all of these incredibly beautiful islands with the sun setting down below them. The colors, there's no way that I can describe how truly spectacular the sunset is at Cadillac Mountain. And so this is a spot that I would not miss if I were anybody watching this, right? And so anything else before I kind of move on?
Yeah, for Cadillac Mountain, a vehicle reservation is needed. That's only booking online only.
Oh, that was fantastic. So last time we went there, we definitely had to... Stop laughing at me. Last time we went there, you definitely had to get a permit reservation to go up there. We did it the day of, and you can do it from the app. And so highly recommend that you guys look into that because you don't want to miss Cadillac Mountain. Anything else you guys can think of? So on from hiking and driving in great ways across the Acadia National Park, but to take things up to the next level, literally, we booked a scenic flight to get a bird's eye view of the entire park. And let me tell you, it was absolutely worth it. And so I keep saying how spectacular this park is. And so, you know, aside from Shenandoah National Park, which is close to us, you know, we don't go back to a lot of parks more than once. But we've been back to this one about 4 times. And it's not an easy drive. It's about 14 hours for us to drive up there. But I definitely want to talk about this. So the first time we went up, we decided that we're going to take a scenic flight over the entire park. It's quite gorgeous. And I'll let Becca talk a little bit about that.
So taking a scenic flight over Acadia gives you a whole new perspective on the park, letting you see the coastline, islands, and mountains from above. Flights typically last around 30 minutes and offer views that you just can't get from the ground.
We flew with Scenic Flights of Acadia, which operates out of Trenton, just outside of the park. One of the best parts is seeing the contrast between the deep blue ocean and the bright granite cliffs of the park.
Becca, you got any stories about being 3,000 feet in the air looking down on Acadia?
I absolutely love getting on these teeny tiny planes and having the pilots do something very like acrobatic whenever they're flying. So I like it whenever they do like the turns, whenever they do the flips, like all the crazy stuff. John did not like that, and I kept on egging on the pilot like, yeah, keep on going,
do a flip.
Yeah. He like every time he banked left and banked, I can't remember what it was, he was banking super hard, I think, and you literally screamed into the little headset that we had.
Sound like a cat when you ran over his tail or something.
He wouldn't stop doing it. He wouldn't stop doing it.
I was very nervous up there.
He screamed like
I don't understand.
The pilot thought it was me.
Every time we get up on one of these 1970 Cessna planes that are 3-seaters or even a 4-seater, 5-seater, I don't know. They're usually very small. Somehow Becca talks the pilot.
Love to talk the pilots into doing tricks.
And they always want to show off for her. And then I'm the one that has to deal with the fear because I'm like, why are you doing this? Can we keep things smooth, please?
Big murder.
That's awesome. Anything you remember from that, Madison?
I remember looking down and seeing maybe like a 1 to 2 acre island with a lighthouse on it. And I was just thinking, who in their right mind would live on there? And what kind of person lives on there as a keeper? I think part of me, my introvert self, would love that.
Yeah.
But then my extrovert self would be terrified.
So after you get down off of that hike, off of that flight. I guess it felt like a hike to me. All the stuff you're asking to plane. So it feels safe for sure. Gets a little bumpy up there. It's a very small, I think the last plane we went on, because we've done it 3 times, the last plane was 1968 or 1969. So you get to get inside of a very small vintage plane with a experienced pilot.
Very experienced pilot.
And it's wonderful. I mean, it's everything that you think it could be. I think I'm going to short sell it just a little bit because I'm still thinking about how gorgeous the Cadillac Mountain sunset is. Makes me want to go back ASAP. So I want to segue into a good place to eat. This Acadia National Park and all the surrounding areas, especially like Bar Harbor, is known for lobster rolls. And so one of the places that we found, which is Charlotte's legendary lobster pound. We've probably eaten at 20 different lobster roll places because every time we get hungry, you look to the left or right, there's going to be a lobster shack. But we really like this one a lot. And so I'll let, if you want to refuel after your air flight, man, I got the best jokes.
Yeah, you're doing so good with the puns. So good.
Then this is a good place, and I'll let Becca start with some of the facts on that.
Charlotte's legendary lobster pound is known for its humane lobster cooking techniques and its commitment to sustainable seafood. They offer traditional lobster rolls, but also have creative twists like smoked lobster, making it stand out from other spots in Bar Harbor.
Before you say anything, humane lobster.
Humane lobster cooking techniques. I'm not sure
So
what that entails.
We're going to kill you, but it's going to be humane. And everybody's going to enjoy you.
Lobsters right in the pot alive with crabs as well.
Okay.
Humane probably means just stab it in the head.
You don't hear them. You don't hear them screaming. Go ahead, Madison. Finish your facts.
Aunt Sandy said she used to work at a lobster house, and when they chopped the heads down, it would crawl in 2 different directions.
Oh my
because of the
goodness.
nerves. Their lobster rolls are massive, stuffed with fresh caught lobster and served with warm buttery buns. They even offer
Why is buttery buns funny?
That statement.
buttery buns.
At least we kill our lobsters in a humane way.
They put them in warm.
So this is a terrible advertisement for this wonderful place, and we're literally not trying to advertise it, but it is a very cute place.
Oh, it's so cute.
Did you have another fact before I want to get into it, like an experience there? Madison's laughing.
They also offer vegan options, which is rare for a lobster shack.
So one of the things that I remember about this place, I thought if you go behind it, there's like a goat
petting zoo
It's I don't know what
and a wiffle ball court.
The petting zoo, and then we played wiffle ball while we're waiting for our lobster. And so, two interesting things that you can do while you're there. It's a very cute little restaurant. Do you have any interesting memories?
Yeah, so I learned that I am a wiffle ball pro champion. So I'm not very good with sports unless like the competition's really, really ramped up and I'm like in the moment. And this was my shining moment, was playing wiffle ball. John was about to make a home run, and I took that ball and I decked him right on the side of the ear.
And so never play wiffle ball with Becca, because what ends up happening is you get a bloody ear.
And then it was terrible because I'm like,
I was
sore
literally
winner.
running
I'm like,
to the base.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I was literally running to the base, and while I'm running to the base, I get hit with the ball. I guess that's how she was throwing me out. And then
I got you.
Oh, yeah, you did. You won, honey.
She's so happy about it.
She was happy. That was the whole bad part about the situation. She was so happy about it, right? And so, but that was fun. What a beautiful place that is. It's a cute, has good seating. It was, parking there is okay. There wasn't a huge crowd each time we've gone to that. I thought that was okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of lobster, so I thought I'd try it fresh from Maine to see if I'd like it. Unfortunately, I did not. But they did offer scallop rolls that I had. Those were delicious as well. I think they had crab rolls there too, and we had one of those, and that was really good.
Yeah, I do. So we actually switched sandwiches because you got the lobster roll and I got the scallop roll, and then we ended up switching because you didn't like the lobster. So if you have a taste for lobster, I got to tell you, they are fantastic. And now I've tried the crab roll. That is also fantastic. After kind of suffering ourselves with lobster, we set out to experience one of Acadia's most unique and natural wonders, which is Thunder Hole. Trust us, this is a spot that lives up to its name. In fact,
Thunder Hole gets its name from the booming sound made when waves rush into the small sea cave and forcefully push out air and water. Best time to experience it is about 1 to 2 hours before high tide, when the waves are strongest.
During storms, waves can shoot up to 40 feet in the air. There is a railing and viewing platform, but it can get very wet, so get ready to get splashed.
So my thing about Thunder Hole is that I feel like definitely something you want to see, and it is beautiful, and you hear this large boom of water that comes up out of it. But it's very touristy, I'll say that. And there's a lot of people there. And so one of the things that we like to do is kind of walk to different sides of Thunder Hole, out onto the rocks. Don't get too close to the ocean. You never know when a rogue wave will hit. There's a lot of tide pools out there. There's a lot of jagged rocks, and you can jump down into different areas, and there's a lot to explore there. And it's nice to get close to the ocean on those rocks, but don't get too close. I'll say that again. Did you have any memories about that, Becca?
Thunder Hole is pretty impressive. For some reason, we always called it the Thunder Dome. Something about us misnaming things in Acadia.
We did a great job with that. You, Madison?
I remember finding like a rock that was a little bit secluded from everybody else, and I just kind of sat down, closed my eyes, just relaxed my mind, really taking in the sounds. Those are the best kind of places for me to meditate and kind of relax. Yeah,
so I do want to kind of segue into, it's kind of out of order a little bit, but Bar Harbor and Bar Island. And so there's been a couple times that we've stayed over in Bar Harbor, and even the campsites that we've gone to are close to there. And what a beautiful town that is, right? And so I want to segue into that because it's very interesting that place where they have, there's Bar Island, which you can only get to when the tide goes out. And so, Becca, you want to share some facts about that, please?
Yeah, so like you said, Bar Island becomes accessible at low tide by a natural land bridge, but you have to time it right, or else there's a risk of getting stranded when the tide comes back in, and they have tons of signs warning you about that. Bar Harbor is the main gateway town to Acadia, offering plenty of dining, shopping, and scenic waterfront views.
Exploring Bar Island's trails rewards you with the panoramic views of Bar Harbor from the other side of the bay. Downtown Bar Harbor is also known for its pop-up art shows, live music, and local craft fairs during the summertime.
So what I like about this, there's a couple of walkway paths that go around the edge of this peninsula. I don't know if it's peninsula or not, but it feels that way. And you're overlooking the ocean, and then on the right-hand side, you've got a lot of historic buildings. You go into town, and there's so many cute shops and pubs and food places. And it's just a really unique, gorgeous town. Everybody's so nice there. The hotels are absolutely gorgeous. And so do you guys have any memories of that? You got anything, Becca?
Bar Harbor is probably one of the cutest, most adorable, like perfectly landscaped, cottagey type towns that I've ever seen in my life. It is like the quintessential New England town. I absolutely love it. I love all the little stores there, all the little restaurants there. I love the people's accents. I love Bar Harbor.
That's the perfect description. How about you, Madison?
I think we spent a whole day there just exploring the area. Just so beautiful, diverse landscapes, the shorelines, forests, mountains. You can see it all from there. I know we went on the sandbar and explored the town a bit. I think we stopped in, grabbed some food, some cocktails, listened to live music while we were there. I think it was a fun day.
Yeah, there's a lot of really unique pubs and food places there, and really cute shops for sure.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Bar Harbor is actually on an island, Mount Desert Island, which we always see the stickers for. Yeah, and Beehive.
Gotcha. I remember from one of the mountaintops we could see down on Bar Harbor. So I thought that was beautiful too, to see that town from the park itself. So anyways, kind of backtracking a little bit on your way to Bar Harbor. And the reason I say that is if you're coming through the park, it seems like one of our spots that we stop in is called Jordan Pond. And so Jordan Pond, not only is it stunning, but it's also home to one of the park's tastiest traditions. You have any facts about that, Becca?
Jordan Pond is famous for its crystal clear water and the iconic bubbles, which are two rounded hills that are shaped like this, visible at the far end. Jordan Pond House is a must-stop for tea and popovers, a tradition that dates back over a century.
Do those mountains look like buttery buns to you?
Yeah, they look like very buttery buns like this.
Did you have any facts about that, Madison?
The Jordan Pond Path is a popular 3.3-mile loop that offers scenic views of the pond and the surrounding mountains. It is also a great spot for birdwatching. Loons, ducks, and even eagles can be spotted there.
One of the things I like about Jordan Pond is they do have a good place to go to the bathroom there, and it seems like after you kind of do the driving and it's kind of further out to one of the exits of the park, this is a good place to stop. You can use the restroom. You can eat some good food. They have some shops in there. And then you can take, maybe a quarter-mile walk out to see a beautiful waterway and some Buttery Buns Mountains.
Yeah, it's a good place to get some. I think they have like a cafe in there or something, and it's a good place to get your national park patch or stamp.
Yeah, I think we got a couple things there. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a beautiful place for sure. So we have a surprised guest here today, my daughter, Nathalie. And so Nathalie hasn't had time to do a lot of these kind of productions or podcasts with us because she's my teenage daughter, and teenagers have a lot better things to do than sit around and talk about all the national parks they visited. But I know Nathalie has been to a lot of parks with us, and this is one that we'll be sharing a lot of pictures, and she's going to be in them. And so I asked her to pop by to tell us her experience with this amazing park, Acadia National Park. Hi, Nathalie.
Hello. Well, there's a lot of amazing things about this trip that I enjoyed. My favorite is probably Cadillac Mountain because of the amazing sunset view, and it's a good place to hang with your family or friends And then another thing that
Do you remember putting your hands in the air and getting a picture of the sun through?
It's pretty cool because the sun is right there. It's one of the highest points, I think.
It is. You're right about that.
But yeah, another thing that I like is in Bar Harbor, which is a town in Acadia, There's a lot of cute shops and nice restaurants and stuff that you can have a lot of good food selection, and you can get a lot of cute things from the shops. And then another thing that I liked was the hike Beehive, I think this was called. And Dad made us get up at 2:30 a.m. for that. And I was definitely tired, but it was worth it because there's amazing sunrise view and view of the ocean, which I really enjoyed.
Well, Nathalie, we want to thank you for stopping by and gracing us with teenage presence here. One of the great things about doing all these national parks is I get to spend so much time with my daughters. And these are memories I know that will last a lifetime. So thank you for stopping by, Nathalie.
You're welcome.
And so now I want to move on. And one of the places that we love to stop every time, and it's kind of a interesting place, but no trip to Acadia is complete without a visit to one of the most photographed lighthouses in the country, which is called Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse. And it is quite the experience in a very small parking lot. I'll let Becca talk about it.
Bass Harbor Headlight was built in 1958 and is perched on the rugged coastline and is still an active Coast Guard lighthouse today. It is one of the most photographed lighthouses in Maine, especially at sunset.
A short walking trail leads down to a rocky area where you can get that classic shot of the lighthouse against the ocean. Arrive early for sunset because it can get crowded. Photographers line up to capture the perfect moment.
This is a really cute place, and so my memory of this is like I've got just really pretty pictures of Nathalie, who you'll meet as a guest host here tonight, and then Becca had a good picture of you there. They have beautiful rocks that you take a stairway down, and then you hit these jagged rocks, and you can go out onto the cliffs, and you can sit out there and listen to the ocean crash against those cliffs. And if you look over to the right, you have this very historic lighthouse. And so there's a lot of tide pools there. You have to be careful. It's not like once you get out to the rocky area, it's completely safe. There's a lot of jagged rocks. And so definitely, wear the right hiking gear for that. Did you have any memories of that place?
That's a really fun place to also just climb the rocks and kind of run around. Just make sure you watch your footing. But besides that, it's a really cute place to just hang out for a couple hours.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun jumping from rock to rock. Probably wasn't the safest thing to do, but it was fun. I remember when we were in Bar Harbor, like the pop-up art shows and the kind of boutique art shops, there was always like a photograph or a painting of this lighthouse. So it was definitely popular amongst artists and photographers.
Nice. I think, this is a beautiful place to stop. I would recommend to get up early or maybe a little bit later. It seems like midday every time we've gone. You're in a line and you're waiting for this. Maybe you can park 20 cars in the parking lot. And it's very busy because it's one of the most photographed lighthouses in the country, right? And so they got 20 parking spaces. There is bathrooms in there. And so I remember that was convenient, especially after you sit in traffic for a while. But if you time it right, then you don't have a long wait. I'm going to move over to just kind of talking about when you're going down Park Road, one of the paths that goes through the park, and you can see some of the sites like Thunder Hole and other areas. There's like a 2-mile path, I think it is. What is it?
Yeah. Ocean Path is an easy 2.2-mile walk along Acadia's spectacular rocky coastline stretching from Sand Beach to Otter Point. You'll pass Thunder Hole, Monument Cove, and other cliffs along the way, so there's a lot to see.
It's a perfect option for families or anyone wanting a more relaxed coastal stroll. The dramatic cliffs and crashing of the waves make for gorgeous photos, especially in the early morning light.
So one of my favorite things about taking that walk is just watching people. There's a lot of people that take that path. Cars are going by, stopping and looking at things. It's nice to see people that enjoy the national parks. To me, that's heartwarming because it's a lot of families. It's a lot of people that are retired. It's people of all ages, but those are the two groups of people I love to see enjoying the park for sure, because they're out exploring. And so, I would highly recommend taking that trail if you get a chance. One of my favorite things to do is like pop out onto the rocks and, in different areas and get beautiful pictures of the coastline. And that is a good path to find your perfect picture for sure. I think we're going to move over to just kind of some places to stay. And so we've stayed at a KOA. There's actually two KOAs. One's on Harbor Oceanside. The other one's on Harbor Woodlands. Do you know which one we stayed at, Becca?
Harbor Oceanside.
Okay. And so there was beautiful views over there. Do you have any facts about that, or?
The KOA campground that we stayed at, it had the most beautiful sunset view. I remember that. It's great for RV or tent camping. So because it's a KOA site, they typically accommodate everything from larger RVs to small tent sites with concrete pads to gravel pads, making them versatile for all types of travelers. They also have full shower rooms there, like every amenity that you could find at a KOA. They also have tons of family-friendly activities with playgrounds, game areas, and scheduled events like outdoor movie nights or pancake breakfasts, making it an especially fun place for families.
Anything you have about that campsite that you can remember?
Yeah, I really loved where we stayed. It was super quiet, family friendly. I know every night we ended with a bonfire, which was fun and relaxing.
There's another campsite that I stayed out there before you guys came out. It's called Mount Desert Campground. That is on the, I think it's called Sound or something like that. And if you have a tent and you're looking for a place to pop it up and you want peacefulness on the water, that is also a beautiful campsite. But I really like this KOA. It's perfectly located between like where we took the flight over the national park, and then it's close to Bar Harbor. It's like 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of everything.
Yeah. And so I just feel like it's a great location. It's a beautiful little campsite. You got great sunsets. And so that's a nice spot. Becca and I had stayed one time at a hotel in Bar Harbor. Do you remember the name of it?
The Harborside Hotel. And that is a gorgeous little cute hotel.
Yeah. And then we could look out over the water. And then every time I forgot to say, so on Bar Island, when we're staying at that hotel, you get to look out from the rooftop there, and you can see when the tide goes out, which happens once or twice a day, I'm sure. And that's what people are walking across to Bar Island, and then you can get stuck over there.
You can also see every single person that forgot to bring their boat or take their boat out whenever the tide falls out. And we've seen a couple of sailboats, nice ones, just stranded out there with the owners nearby too. It wasn't like they left it there on purpose. It's just terrible.
There's warnings all over the place. A ton of water comes in, fills up that harbor, and then a ton of water goes out. And that happens once or twice a day. I can't remember. But people get stranded over on the island, Bar Island. And then people will go in to grab lunch or something and boat up too close to the shore. And then literally the tide goes out, and we saw this huge sailboat that was laying sideways in the rocks. And we just sat there. I think I got a picture of it. And I was like, this is crazy. I mean, if there's ever... I've never seen that many warnings. Be careful. Don't do this. You're going to get stranded. Make sure you get out of the harbor before this time. But it seems like it happens probably fairly often, right?
One more thing I wanted to add on, if you're driving up from Virginia, at least, up to Acadia National Park, is a couple of stops that are great. Plymouth in Massachusetts. You can see the Plymouth Rock. And Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is another very, very cute New England town, along with Kittery, Maine. They're right across from each other.
Oh, yeah, our stops. I forgot about our stops. So because we're driving from Virginia, we have a 14-hour drive. And so we've stopped in Boston. We've stopped in Plymouth. We've stopped in Salem. So we get to see all these beautiful little towns on the way up or on the way back as a stopping point. And so thanks for sharing that for sure.
Yeah, and I think we almost hit Salem around Halloween time. That's definitely the time you want to go there. And there's so many interesting sites around Salem to walk to.
I think one thing we can kind of laugh about now is we took the wrong exit and we actually took our camper through New York City.
That literally was not a fun thing to do. And so we've had our camper and, have gone into LA before. We've also had our camper going through an accidental turn going into New York City during traffic time. That is definitely not fun, but that was worth mentioning for sure. I want to thank Becca, Madison, and even the Nathalie for showing up today to help share our experiences with Acadia National Park. And then I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Acadia National Park, whether you're chasing sunrises in Cadillac Mountain, exploring tide pools at Little Hunter Beach, or devouring lobsters in Bar Harbor. Acadia truly has something for everyone. Check out our website at thetaylorcompound.com. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share your experiences down in the comments. Remember, very important, to leave no trace, respect the wildlife, and book your accommodations early. Until next time, this is the Taylor Compound signing off. Happy adventuring and keep exploring.